Hi, I'm Dr. Divina Lopez, a board-certified pediatrician with over 10 years of experience in pediatrics, and you are listening to Dancing into Parenthood. Hello, it's Dr. Divina Lopez, and we are back on Dancing into Parenthood. I am here with a very special young lady. Her name is Zuri Ruiz, and I was just asking her, how did I find her? So we were basically saying that we found each other on Instagram.
I think we found each other.
Yeah.
I'm sure I was looking, I don't know if I found you first or you found me first, but we must have been looking for, I was looking for people like you, birth educators, just informed people, and I don't know if I came.
Yeah,
I don't know
so
who found who, but we found each other.
Somehow we bumped into one another, and probably what attracted me to her was first she does some prenatal yoga in this beautiful art gallery, and I thought, what a really creative way to do that. Yes. I thought that was really, really cool, and it's just like such a beautiful space that I'm like, wow, that really makes sense to do that.
That's Novato Gallery in Jersey City.
Yes, it's a really beautiful space. And then, I can tell from her name that she was Latina. So I was like, I'm trying to connect with mostly Latinas or minority women in general because I really want to support one another. I want us to elevate each other. And then it just so happened to be that she's also Puerto Rican. So I was like, whoa, look at that. Okay.
Boricua in the house.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we met up and I'm like, oh my goodness, this girl who does all these beautiful videos, she's so teeny tiny petite. She reminds me of my grandma. Especially when you came in with your bun and everything. I was like, oh my god, you really remind me of her. So cute.
I try. Thanks.
Yeah, so she's this little tiny petite powerful woman and I love that. I just love that.
Thank you.
So I'm really excited to do this podcast with you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so let's just talk about how did you even get into yoga in the first place?
Yeah. So I'll explain a little bit of what I do and who I am, I guess. So I am a yoga teacher, and I've also done an additional training with functional range conditioning, which is FRC, so mobility specialist. So that's focused on joint mobility, joint health, and increasing range of motion in a functional way without overstressing your tissues or overstretching and overstraining. But I became a yoga teacher first and foremost in 2015, and it all started when maybe around 2012, I believe it was, or 2013. I had experienced my first miscarriage, and it was an early miscarriage, but and nonetheless, it's still very impactful. It was unexpected, and it was also a period in my life where I was probably too young. It maybe wasn't my time, but it kind of takes you for a shock. And being so young, and I guess not knowing enough about pregnancy, my body, myself, I felt like there was something missing. But the yoga, so that was just a very impactful thing. It hurt, but I knew, it was a very difficult period, but I knew that I needed to overcome this and grow past it. And yoga kind of was the thing. Long story short, a friend just happened to mention yoga to me while I was going through this very difficult period of trying to understand, why did this even happen to me? Like why? What was the point? Right. And all I knew about yoga was that it was supposed to be this thing that keeps you zen and nice and balanced and happy. So I thought, let me try this yoga thing and see if it helps, because I think I need something to get me out of this dark place. A healing process.
Right.
Therapy, something therapeutic. Something needed to change.
Yeah.
And I went to my first yoga class, and it was a complete shift in my energy. It felt like an entire load was lifted off my shoulders.
Wow.
I can't even, like, I am not kidding. It felt like I was floating when I left that class.
Yeah.
And I just knew, like,
it took you
this
somewhere else.
was it. Yeah, it really did. I felt light as a feather as I left.
Okay.
So I kept going, and I actually didn't keep going back to that studio because I was working. I was a retail store manager, so I was working in retail management for about 10 years, and during that time I was working in retail, so I couldn't really go back to the yoga studio as often, but I started practicing at home. So I did a lot of videos and things like that. And it was also through working in retail that I got to know how well I work with people, with clients and everything. Everyone at work was always coming and confiding with me, telling me their stories, whether it was customers or whether it was employees.
Right.
So there was always a connection, this relationship that I always made with others, which when I started to practice the yoga, it was really difficult for me not to want to share this with others,
right?
You know, to let them,
you want them to feel as good as you do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're telling me, they're confiding in me, so I'm like, wait, there's something here. There is something here. People trust me, so I don't know. So I decided to go and finish or to study further, and I became a yoga teacher in 2015. I started with Floor Yoga in Jersey City, and I did my 200-hour Vinyasa teacher training with them. About a year or two later, I did a prenatal teacher training with two separate teacher trainings. One with a birth doula named Kimberly Weiss-Lewitt, and then I did a separate teacher training privately with Michelle Timmick Yoga, which was really great to actually learn from two different perspectives, two different women, two different moms with different birth experiences too. So like, that was a pretty big deal. And it grew from there. After I became prenatal certified, I was actually still a little intimidated by pregnant women.
Yeah.
I was like scared of pregnant women. When I first became a yoga teacher, I was like, I cannot have a pregnant woman in my class. I do not know. Like, no, I don't. And especially because of my experiences, with miscarriage, I was particularly freaked out about having a pregnant woman in class. So it really took that additional training. It took being with, even like one of my teachers was pregnant. Right. So, and I didn't know she was pregnant before I met her. So like I'd spoken to her on the phone. So when I saw her and she was pregnant, I was like, oh my God. Like this is the test. This is the test. If I could do it, then we're good. Seriously. It was just like that. And from then on, I just kind of knew this is what I want to continue to do. Specifically in terms of prenatal yoga, it's about helping women be informed about just first of all about all of the I don't knows, right? Yeah. Because there's so many things, there's so many varieties. Pregnancy is so different. Our bodies are so different from one another. Right. But everyone kind of either falls to a certain amount of expectations, and when things are not exactly like that, we freak out, we panic, we don't know what to do. So I think that's why I really try to maintain, like I really stick to my prenatal classes, so that there's always a space where they can go to. First of all, everybody gets to chat and talk in my classes
and connect with one another.
Exactly. Everybody talks about how far along they are, but I also tell them, like, all right, if you've got acid reflux, maybe somebody else will tell you what they did for their acid reflux. Right, like and it might not help you, but it might also. Like we share ideas, we understand, oh, this is happening with me, oh my God, I felt the same thing, I thought I was the only one. So
you're building a community.
Thank you. Yes, it's a little community space like that. So and because we all learn from each other, oh my gosh. And forget about me being the teacher. I learn from them. I learn from their experiences.
You learn a lot from them,
Every story they tell me, I'm just like, please don't stop talking. I want more. Yeah. And then we have to stop because we have to take class. We have to do that at the actual class. But I just listening to them and learning from them is amazing. And from all my students, prenatal or not prenatal students, I always learn from their bodies, the way that they react to certain movements.
Yes.
Our communication is always good like that. But yeah, I think mostly I try to remind them that I'm creating a space for them to trust themselves, to trust their body, to be able to listen to their bodies. I'll give you guidance, but like you got to take the wheel. And I want to create that space for you to feel empowered in that journey, wherever you might be. So I like it.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
No, I think that's important that you are starting to establish that, learn to listen to your intuition.
Yes.
Listen to your body, because I think that's a big part of yoga. You're connecting with your body and seeing how it feels, and what happens when I do this, and with all those little muscles, how do I make my body do this or that, and all these poses that come along with it. I know one of the things I spoke to you about is how like everybody wants to do everything so perfectly, and so I love how you do these isolations of certain like muscle groups and stuff, so that people understand like it's not all about this beautiful, like I gotta do this pose and the next pose, but it's really about connecting to your body.
Yeah, and it's really about, just like that. It's not about, when we could use a pose as an example. Everybody sees one big, beautiful pose, and it's like, I want to look like that. I want to be able to achieve that. But we forget that every big thing is made out of smaller pieces put together.
Right.
So we want to break down that big thing, or it's not even about breaking it down. If you're building it, let's start at the bottom. Start with the foundations. So when it comes to the body, we'll look at every little joint, like you said, all the little movements. That's what we focus on a lot in my classes, is joint mobility, so that if, let's see how your shoulder's doing, how your hip is doing on its own. Let the hip be a hip, let the shoulder be a shoulder.
Right.
And then when there's a movement, because in life, all the body, everything moves together, right? When we go pick up something from the top shelf, we're gonna move our arm, but our hip is gonna have to move a certain way to get us to like reach a little bit higher. So it all works together in the end.
Right.
But what I want to give people a moment to do is to get deeper into all the little foundations, all the little foundational pieces.
Yes.
So whether it's about the body, but it applies to mindfulness, and in everything that we do is just building it from the smaller pieces, and then you create the bigger piece. So
So how do you get your clients to connect with their babies during class?
Ooh, yes. First, I love when they tell me that babies are moving during class.
It's exciting.
And I can sometimes tell because we'll like be doing a little something, and someone will suddenly touch their belly and like make a face like, oh, baby moved or something. So that's always super cute. But I like to remind them to create a little space of meditation. And one thing, there's a website that I recommend called spinningbabies.com, and I got this little
I just love it.
They're a really great resource. Spinningbabies.com, highly recommend them. They're just a really great resource too for prenatal fitness, but also positioning of baby, helping you understand if breech baby, how can we, different ideas, different therapies and techniques to try to turn a breech baby,
how to get them in position.
And from them I got this little idea. So they have this thing called baby mapping.
Okay.
And basically they will guide you, the mama, to touch your belly, and you're kind of looking for things almost as if you were looking at constellations, and you're trying to find a certain constellation in the sky, and so you're trying to look for certain little pieces and connect the dots. So you're trying to connect the dots in your belly in a sense. So you place your hands and it tells you, they'll try to tell you, if you just do a little love tap on your belly and try to feel where I'm touching my belly right now. You can't see it. But you can touch your belly and you try to feel, okay, if this is a harder spot, maybe it's baby's back. Or maybe it's baby's head or something like that. It'll tell you little guidelines. If you feel little flutters, maybe that's the foot, or maybe it's the little bit of the hands.
Right.
So with all these little cues, you can kind of visualize or try to map out where your baby is in your body, what the position is as best as you can, and it becomes a meditation. It becomes almost meditative. So I tell my ladies to make it a moment for you to just meditate with your baby. So you're feeling it, but you begin to have a conversation with your baby, especially in instances where you might have a breech baby and you're trying to ask baby, flip. You know, if flip, please flip, or something like that. And first of all, I want to just say, babies are born in all sorts of ways. It doesn't matter where it comes out of. It's going to be born, and it is beautiful no matter what. Breech baby, head down baby, all sorts of babies, C-sections, vaginals. It doesn't. All right. So yeah, it doesn't matter, you know, which way they're born. It is a beautiful thing nonetheless. But that's one of the ways that I have mamas connect with their babies. I give them this, I give them a little homework. I send them to spinningbabies.com so that they can find the baby mapping.
Yeah.
And I invite them to turn that baby mapping time into a moment to communicate, to have a conversation. And you start to, really notice, and maybe not realize, but you're noticing that you are practicing your first moments of parenthood right there. You're speaking to your baby.
That's right.
Yeah. Right. Like you're asking baby, okay, please flip, or baby, please stop hitting me in the rib. You know, you're doing all these things, or, you know, baby, it's almost due time, but please don't come until I really, really need you. So, you know, grandma doesn't arrive from, you know, whenever until next week, so you can't come. So you start to really, like I tell my mamas, converse with your baby. Have these conversations.
Have the conversations.
Talk to your baby.
Yes.
In the beginning of class too, we'll start with a little breathing, just a little centering, quiet moment. But I'll ask them to choose a few words to either speak to their baby, or I'll sometimes say, choose a few words to sing to your baby to the rhythm of your breath. So like your breath is the tune, and you'll be singing whatever the lyrics is, whatever you want it to be.
That's beautiful.
But spend a moment, you know, doing a little song or a little poetry with just your baby. And that's it. And when another moment that I'll recommend this is when they tell me about I can't sleep at night, or I wake up to pee and then I have a very difficult time going back to sleep. The most difficult thing is, like, meditation sounds so easy, but also very, very difficult, because it's very difficult to sit down and just not do anything and quiet your mind. It's so difficult, but it takes conscious effort. And it takes practice. So, which is why I recommend you go to your yoga classes. You can practice there in a controlled setting where you're like, okay, you're not going anywhere. You're going to sit and breathe, and you're going to be guided through this meditation so that you can be accustomed to doing it, you know, on your own. So I tell them, okay, well, if you woke up in the middle of the night, you know, you either to pee or you just, for whatever reason, is as normal as in pregnancy, to not sleep, I'm going to say, keep the lights down, no TV, no cell phone. Sit down and sit with your baby. Breathe with your baby. Talk with your baby. And let that be your moment. And then you might see, I'm all right, I'm getting a little tired again, or I'm just enough that you're relaxed. Even if you don't fall back to sleep, your body is relaxed. We can try to cheat a little bit. But having those conversations, I think, is huge in terms of really deepening the relationship and planting the seed already of parenthood in the womb already planted there. So,
and how can we get the partners involved?
So I've also even recommended that the mamas do this with their partner. So even the baby mapping, have them be involved. Have dads, have partners, have whatever, like also touch belly and feel here. You know, it's amazing that, you know, doctors and birth doulas and midwives and everything, like they'll touch and see and feel, but then you yourself are like, well, can I touch? I don't know. Yeah, touch, feel, and then have your partner give a little touch, feel, place the hand, and at some point, maybe baby's gonna move at the same time, and like you feel you're a little
more
kicks.
connected.
Yeah, they feel that connection, and it's okay if it takes a while. I've had some dads, I've had some moms that are like, oh my god, my baby just does not want to move when my husband puts the hand there. It just won't. But it eventually happens. So don't give up hope, partners. The baby's listening to you too. But yeah, no, I definitely have the partners be involved in that baby mapping. But also, little massage time is perfect.
Yeah.
Mamas need their. It's not a luxury at this point.
Right.
It is a necessity.
Yes.
It's therapeutic.
Yes.
Your muscles, especially around your lower back, around the hips and pelvis. There's so much change happening very rapidly 9 months. Sure, it doesn't sound like a long time, but that's a long time.
It is a long time when you're going through it.
Yeah, it's a long time. And it's yet relatively short for your joints to suddenly be like, I didn't have a baby to hold, and now I have a baby to hold.
Right.
So your joints are like, oh my god, what is going on?
Yeah.
The massage is so necessary.
Yeah.
So have the partners get a little involved there, a little love. It doesn't have to be anything pro.
Right.
Get a little massage ball in there. But no, I think the whole experience, everything this journey. There's so many pieces that are definitely mama and baby, and so many pieces of it are also partner being involved in this evolution that is occurring, because it is affecting both of you at this point, and it changes the dynamic a little bit. So, yeah.
And so how do you help your clients to become comfortable with their new bodies?
Yes. So my classes are pre and postnatal. So they can come obviously prenatal till the very last moment.
Yeah.
I've literally till the very last moment. I had a mom.
You told me somebody was walking
Yes. I had a mom that was, she was 30. She probably hit 40 weeks already. She was she was 39 and some change. She hadn't quite hit her due date. Her baby was born 2 days before her due date. But she came to class on a Sunday and then had her baby on Monday morning. But apparently, as she was leaving my class, she was walking with another student of mine, and so that student told me, and the other student was a mom already. She's on a second time, this is her second ride. So she was telling me, she's like, well, I was walking with her, but she kept asking me questions like, what does it feel when this, or is this supposed to feel? And I started to put it together that I thought she was in labor.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, are you sure? Should I call someone? And she was like, no, I think I'm okay. But then we found out that she delivered on Monday morning. So she basically was starting to labor then. And so basically a lot of these ladies, and so this particular woman in particular, she came maybe 11 weeks, 12 weeks. So quite a tiny little bump. That's already, we have to start transitioning to the changes there already.
Right.
Because you're going from moving like you regularly move, fast, energy, going up and down stairs, running, walking, blah, 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 to all of a sudden you move really quickly and you feel this ridiculous pain that you never really felt before at your hip or around your tummy. So I start to remind them right there, you're going to start to slow down a little bit, right? You're going to start to let your stance be a little wider. So when we stand, we'll start to position our feet further apart to allow space for growing baby. I'll show them different positions in terms of how to get up and down the floor as belly gets a little bit bigger. But the same idea applies post-partum, that slowed suddenly. Your center of gravity has shifted so much during pregnancy in a long but yet relatively short time for your body. And then when the baby's gone, your body is like, wait, I did all of this to adjust for this baby and already it's gone. It's gone. So then it really becomes about, it's the progress that we made to make baby, to hold and support
them
and to
in our bodies.
accommodate, exactly, to accommodate all of that effort still applies postpartum. It doesn't. 9 months, of growing, and it is not going to go away in, one day in the next. No, it does not happen like that.
Right.
So I remind the mamas, first of all, you're going to come back postnatal when you get clearance from your doctor.
Right.
And then after that, once they come back, they're still going to move in the way, as if they were pregnant in a sense. We'll still step a little bit wider, but I'm going to start to cue them differently. If I have a postnatal student, I will start to say, all right, start to bring the feet a little bit closer together.
Right.
Start to, hug your core. You can now start to engage your core a little bit more.
Okay.
So that way the organs, we're trying to kind of make sure and understand, your organs have shifted.
Right.
And again, even they don't move back to place overnight.
Right. It all takes
all
time.
the things,
Yes.
all of the things. There's this perfect little cylinder right in your trunk that holds so many organs.
Yes.
And they were all pushed into the very corners that they could fit in,
Right.
so that this baby could grow. So when baby is not there anymore, those organs are still shifting, which makes different sensations. It might make it uncomfortable to move the way that you did before baby was there. It's just not going to happen so quickly.
Yeah.
So I do remind mamas, it takes time. Be patient with yourself.
Yeah, love
just
yourself
slowly,
through the process.
Exactly. Just as slowly as you adjusted to growing belly, we slowly adjust to not having that belly there. But managing, your sense of balance is going to feel a little bit different too.
Right.
But then you come to the pre or the postnatal yoga class, which it's the same class. You're just doing it postnatal, so that now your body is adapting to movement again, still in a modified manner where you're not overstraining your abdomen in any way, but you're adjusting now to the mobility, to your energy changing, to feeling more space. And then after a few classes, with us again, then a lot of mamas will feel more comfortable. All right, I think I'm ready to go to the not postnatal class, or to the regular yoga class or whatever. And they've built the energy and the mobility back up in order to do that. So it's just mostly, my biggest thing is understanding that it does not happen overnight. So give the body time. You just had a baby. Give the body time, but you're still connecting. You're still you. That's the one thing. You are still you. You've just given birth. So your energy might feel a little different, but you're still you. And it's the most important thing. You're giving your energy to your baby. Keep giving energy back to yourself as well.
You have to. You absolutely have to prioritize yourself, even with a new baby around. I think that's an important message for moms, and I also think loving themselves just where they're at and accepting where they're at is so important.
Absolutely.
A lot of times we get so stressed out with trying to do everything for the baby, we forget about what's going on with us. We get very frustrated because you want to be your normal self from before, so you gotta give yourself that whole adjustment period and be okay with it.
I'm so glad you said that. That actually reminds me of something that I do with my students also is so in the beginning of class, I might sometimes have them, chat with baby, talk with baby. But then at the end of class, we'll go back and I might say, okay, whatever words you may have been sharing with baby, take a moment, share those words again. And I'll give them a moment. And then I'll go back and say, all right, now shift the focus to you. Speak to yourself. What message, what idea, what can you give for yourself? That's something that I will do. And if I do it, I sometimes will do it in the beginning of class where all I say is, take a moment. All we're going to do, I'm going to give you very little instruction. Just sit down, close your eyes. What is your natural breath like right now? What are you feeling today, physically or mentally? And I'll give them a few moments. And then I'll say, okay, from whatever you've observed, whatever you're feeling, we're not changing anything. Just give yourself permission to see yourself just as you are, and then give yourself permission to be just as you are and know that you are perfect. Just right here,
the way you are.
Right now, just as you are.
Yeah.
Nothing had to change.
Right.
So I'll go through that with them, either in the beginning or in the end of class, because it is so as important as it is for them to connect with baby. Because trust, I've also heard that of people who've gone to prenatal classes where there is like hardly a mention of the baby, and like it's just
really?
like fitness or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
So I do always want the baby connection there, but super important for mama to know that, hey, you're a person too.
Yes.
This isn't just about the baby.
Right.
This is you
Yes.
as well. You are a powerhouse. You are
Yes.
a superhero. You are
Right.
amazing.
Right.
So
Right.
empower yourself,
Yes.
because it's what you feed yourself is what you're going to feed
Yeah.
your baby.
Yeah.
So
And
making
it's-
that a point is huge. Mamas, feed
There's
yourself.
There's a
Restore
miracle
yourself.
happening.
Yes.
So, you have to understand that it really, truly is a miracle. It really, really, really is.
It blows me away
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah. So, talking actually about how we focus so much on the baby, once the baby arrives, sometimes it's hard, right?
Yeah.
For mom to find time for herself and
Yes.
even for some yoga. But like, can you offer any tips of how
Yeah.
they can incorporate it once the baby has gone?
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
come along?
Although I don't do it as much anymore, I'll definitely think about throwing a class in there or two. But I definitely did offer parent and baby yoga, or
Yes.
mommy and baby yoga.
Uh-huh.
And really, what the easiest thing is to know you've got this beautiful little baby that you get to hold, and guess what? This baby's gonna grow and it's gonna become heavier. So you've got your own weight that is
Right.
progressively growing
As you're getting
so
stronger.
as you're getting stronger.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense. So the way that I would instruct our parent and baby class is we'll have the yoga mat and baby on a blanket, and maybe I've had babies that were like 7 weeks, like baby's not gonna move, baby's just wrapped up and staring at mama, like okay,
Right.
beautiful,
A little burrito.
and mama will move and do a few of her stretches and her a few mobility exercises. And if ever baby called for attention or needed something, all right, we'll pick up baby. Oh, now you're picking up baby. What can you do with your leg while you're holding your baby? Can you do a little lunge? Can you do a lunge with your other leg? Okay.
Right.
If you place baby back down, baby can get involved depending on, so we'll do little stretches, like, okay, little arms, baby's little arms can stretch. You stretch one arm and you can just stimulate baby's arms, little massages here and there, so that you're
Right.
making it not just about your body, but you can, caress your little baby, depending on baby's age, of course, and do little stimulation. So if you're
Yeah.
moving your legs, okay, baby, this is your knee, this is your thigh, let's move it around a little bit, and baby's right there. And honestly, it could be just 10 minutes of like these little movements.
Yeah.
Carry baby.
Uh-huh.
Squat with baby.
Yes.
Anything. You don't
Yes.
even need to have a yoga mat. Any
Especially
little
to
thing.
get that pelvic floor back
Exactly.
intact.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But really, it's knowing that you can carry your baby and still you're going to be getting stronger.
Yeah.
So hold baby, but move your legs. Hold baby with one arm, move the other arm.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be on your yoga mat. It could be in your kitchen.
Right.
I'm really big on I don't even like to prescribe specific exercises anymore. My thing is move all of your joints. In FRC, in the functional range conditioning program that I've trained with, we talk a lot about CARS, which is controlled articular rotations. And all it is move every single joint. Move your wrist so if you can move in a circle, make a circle with your wrist, a
Right.
few times. Move
Right.
your elbow, move your shoulder, move your neck. So every joint, if we've moved it in its full range of motion, you kind of targeted every muscle involved
Right.
with that joint, which is kind of like, to me, that just easy. All right. I don't know what to exercise today. Do I exercise my butt? Do I exercise my hamstring? Do I
Right.
exercise this?
Right.
Why don't you just move the entire hip, and you're going to get your butt, your hamstring, your thigh, your core, everything is going to get loved if you engage the entire joint, like however. So basically whatever part of your body moves, move it.
Right.
And that's it. So you can be holding baby and make an arm circle, you know, each direction. Move your elbow, extend. Maybe you're holding something. Maybe you do a bicep curl, but you don't have to do a bicep curl.
Right.
You can just do your own little stimulation to at least keep the blood flow, the lymph fluid, your nutrition, everything, you know, keep that moving. No stagnant energy. So that's my thing. Move all of your joints. All of them. Look up CARS if you don't know what CARS are. So controlled articular rotations, but that's really the best bet. Just keep moving. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Zuri. This
you.
was awesome. I loved it. I think it's so
great.
Informative, and I want you to let everybody know, where can they find you?
Oh, yes. So I am on Instagram, Zuri Ruiz Yoga. That's ZURIRUIZ Yoga. My website is zuriruiz.yoga. I'm also on Facebook. Yeah, I'm pretty streamlined. Zuri Ruiz Yoga. Even if you just Google Zuri Ruiz Yoga, it's funny because Zuri and Ruiz have the same letters, so it kind of gets like scrambled words. So it's kind of easy to find. Zuri Ruiz Yoga. Very active on Instagram, on my website. I
love your videos.
Thank you.
I love them. I love them.
I post a lot of mobility videos, and I just recently started doing YouTube videos as well. So now you can find me on YouTube also. And I'll start doing more prenatal information stuff on the YouTube. But Zuri Ruiz Yoga, you can Google it and find me there. But yeah,
we'll find it. But thank you so much. This was so much fun, and I love meeting you.
This was so much fun.
And you're such a lovely person. So
thank you.
Thank you for doing this
honor. Thank you, and it was awesome. You're amazing. It was lovely to meet you. First, I gotta say, I'm very inspired by Miss Divina. The Dr. Divina. She's fantastic. Like, oh my God, you've inspired me. So we gotta do. You've got to be interviewed in your own podcast because you inspired me.
I have to. You know, you're right. Maybe you could come and interview me.
I think so. I'm not kidding. You really inspire me. Your story is everything. It really inspired me. So thank you for having me. This was great.
Yes.
So much fun.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure everybody would love listening to you and checking out your videos, because really, her videos are beautiful. You have to look at them.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Zuri.
To listen to more podcasts, please visit us at drdivinalopez.com and follow us on Instagram at Dr. Divina Lopez. Thank you for listening. Please keep in mind that all advice given in this podcast is general information. To understand your specific situation, you must consult with your pediatrician.